edition of Zero Blog 30. I'm Chaps. We got Kate in studio, Cons in studio, and me in studio. I feel like it's been a long time since we've had that.
Enrique asked me, when was the last time we did this?
I don't know.
Was it
I guess
after
last
the
time
baby?
the last time I came up here, maybe.
When was that? It's been
Was-
such a blur.
Yeah, it was,
I don't
been
know.
a while. It's been a while since we've all been in a room.
Thin. Uncle Chaps, general consensus.
All right,
very
enough.
thin.
Like, I'm tired of this, like, hey, let's all,
I forgot how
stroke
loud
off Chaps.
Connor
Like,
was in person.
ridiculous.
It's
Ridiculous.
I
Cons, thick
forgot
voice,
how
thick
loud he is in
wagon.
person. It's very unbecoming. There's no reason
Truly.
to scream.
I mean, we already complimented him once yesterday. That was enough. Let's move
Just
on.
saying.
But not
He didn't-
officially
he
on the
didn't-
podcast.
He didn't cure cancer.
Well,
Put it in the
not yet.
logbook.
Yeah.
Chaps is thin. It's in the log.
He'll be fat again. Why do you think I brought you guys M&Ms?
Good point.
Yeah, but I'm still swimming. That's how I figured it out, because I was like, I really don't know. I forgot to tell you guys, I put on my mask like I'm a 6-year-old
Yeah.
and go on the bottom of my pool.
Yeah, you were telling me, yeah.
And that's
That's
how
a lot
I
of
do it.
fun.
There
That's
you
a
go.
lot of fun.
I wish PT could be like that every
I
day.
go outside and my wife will come out there and she'll be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm just cleaning up the bottom of the pool," like with my nose still like, "I'm just cleaning the pool. I got some goggles on."
All
She's
right,
like,
devil
"You look
dogs,
like-
go explore
she's
the
like,
bottom
You
of the
look
pool."
like a kindergartner with a beard, just having it. And me and McCartney will go down together. We inspect all the different stuff. I'm like, "Let's
Yeah.
go look at the pipes down there. Let's see what's going on." We play games. Can we put our belly on the bottom of the pool?
You ever have a tea party down there?
No, never had a tea party.
You
We've
s-
done yoga down
Yeah.
there.
Well, you sink to the bottom, and then you each pretend you're holding a cup of tea and having a conversation, and the joke is you can't really understand each other. How hilarious is
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it's hilarious.
It's a
Very
riot.
funny childhood.
But today we have 4 rounds of the magazine. Round number 1, I sat down with Big Cat and Large this week to share something deeply personal regarding my family, and I have a few more thoughts since it's aired. A lot of the responses started to come out today. If you haven't heard that after you're done listening to this, if you still want to hear me run my bitch-ass mouth more, go over to the Podfather show and check out the special episode I did with Big Cat there. Round number 2, the Air Force is allowing hands in the pockets. And you better believe Kate has a genuinely terrible Alanis Morissette cover song. Oh, no.
Very excited.
that's
gonna be
bad.
Warming up the pipes.
But speaking of warming up the pipes, I know you guys are wondering how my performance went last week at my cousin's wedding when I
Yeah.
performed for the welcome party.
How'd
And
it go?
let me tell you, I didn't realize I could sing that well.
Okay, I knew. I've been drunk at karaoke bar with you before.
Yeah, but I feel like karaoke, you kind of get drowned out. Everyone's screaming. It's a loud bar as it is. It was just people on a beach listening to me. And Nick, if you want to pipe in some of that right now, I wouldn't stop you. Chaps and Kate might, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, that sounds awful. Round
Yeah.
number 3, speaking of hands in the pockets, we asked, what's the pettiest thing you ever got yelled for? And the reactions and the reasons... What? And indeed,
And
the
indeed.
reasons you gave were petty as shit.
Who wrote these?
Yeah, round number 4, checking in on Afghanistan, and it looks, holy shit, like the withdrawal worked.
Whoa, what?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it
Yeah.
is saying that the Taliban's at bay and all our blood, sweat, and tears is paid off. We did it.
What's the name of the new press secretary? Jen
Psaki.
Psaki.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is with the P at the front?
Yeah, that P is silent.
Get that P out of here.
Yeah.
Just
It's like
make it out of
pterodactyl.
Saki. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want that P.
No.
I don't want that P at all. But she was saying that the Taliban have to really consider on
Oh,
what
yeah.
they want to be seen like on the global stage.
Yeah,
I don't
hold on.
think that's a concern.
No.
She
I
said
think
that the quote. I actually wrote this down because I couldn't believe this. She said the Taliban also has to make an assessment about what they want their role to be in the international community. A terrorist organization. I think they established that back in the 90s. They are a terrorist organization.
You know what? We're going to go more of a non-profit route now. So we're
Yeah.
kind of tired of
Like the very
warfighting.
first thing that they did was pull out people who were trying to surrender and executed them.
yeah,
like
they
I don't
kinda
really
set the
think they're and they
tone.
rape women and shit. Like
Right.
it's not exactly like they're like, I really wonder what the folks in France are thinking about the way that we're raping and killing everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
I
don't-
mean,
they don't seem to be super.
Listen,
Not
not
great.
everyone, even CJ Craig had rough days at the podium there. It's a tough job. But
It is a tough job,
you
but
can't be saying
also
stuff
like
that.
you can't. Just be honest. Like,
Right.
I would have so much more respect for the administration if you were just like, oh yeah, it's turned into a real
It's
fucking
fucked.
shit show.
Yeah. what a quagmire.
Like, glad we
Right.
got
Like,
out. They
you-
can handle it themselves because
Hey.
that place is fucked.
Sorry, the Taliban's a pretty bad organization.
Bye, Felicia.
And
They're
it
doing
is
bad
terrible,
things.
like that we helped destabilize the region again. Like that does suck. Be honest about it.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason to be like, well, the Taliban's really got to step up if they're going to be the leaders. They're not going to
Not gonna-
because they're the
yeah.
Taliban.
No change of heart happening there, but we'll get into it, give you some quick bullet point updates on that in round number 4.
Yeah, round number 1 is where we're going to start, and that's right after I do an ad read because that's what I'm supposed to do. It's part of my job, which is going to be from Romans.com. GetRomans.com is the way to go. You can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for your erectile dysfunction. Get that member up hard, like ready to just fuck.
Yeah.
Equals
pretty
confidence
much, yeah.
and the confidence that you know so you can rise to the occasion for the moment. We're looking at the Summer of Love 2021 version, and Roman wants to make sure you can participate in your own way, whether that's as a single person or a couple or a throuple.
Or a quadruple.
Lots of thruples popping up on TikToks.
There is. You know, they're all over dating apps, too.
I don't.
Wait, what?
Thruples?
I know what a throuple is, but they're on the dating apps. Is
Hey,
there?
me and
There's
my wife are looking for a thrup. A third.
Again, I'm not one to kink shame, but I guess it's because I'm probably just too deeply of a jealous person to do that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being like, oh yeah, we're going to bring somebody else into the old marriage bedroom.
Right. I would be nice to have a spare person to do the stuff that's like, ugh, my neck's tired today, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Or like if Randy really does like just giving the massage and then
Right.
like he could do the massage and then you come back in.
Right, if you had a foreplay person that came in and then
Yeah.
right.
Like just take care of all the stuff that you don't want to
Yeah,
do.
all
Like
the
I don't
dirty
want it.
work.
Can I just come in after your feet are rubbed for like
Right.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
Or, well, 5 minutes, really? 20
Yeah.
minutes? Definitely not
Either
happening.
way.
Yeah, the process is straightforward if you want to get that dick hard, though. Go to GetRoman.com/Barstool and complete an online visit. They're going to take care of your ED needs without even leaving home. Then go to GetRoman.com/Barstool today, and if you're prescribed, you get 50% off your first month. So you're fucking for half price.
Whoa.
Gotta love that. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this summer because Roman is ready to get you ready. All right, so round number 1. I want to do this pretty quickly and just talk about kind of what happened and some of the responses and what I really felt like I knew the response was going to be.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a mixed bag.
Yeah,
I
you
knew.
knew.
Like I've
you knew it was going to be a big what?
mixed bag.
Oh, mixed bag. Okay.
Yeah, I've worked at Barstool and been in the internet game for 5+ years now. Like I know like what the comments are going to look like on our blog, on Reddit, on Twitter. None of it was surprising at all.
Yeah.
I will say I'm deeply encouraged when people were like, this isn't something that I knew about at
Right.
all. And it like hearing you talk about it passionately really opened my eyes to the issue that I had never thought about. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
That was my entire
And for
goal.
anybody who doesn't follow other Barstool
Right.
stuff, do you mind elaborating a little?
Sure,
Old
so-
Katie context over here.
About a year and a half ago, McCartney, my youngest, let us know that they're non-binary. And what that means is that they don't consider themselves to be man or woman.
Right.
Like they're not boy or girl, like they're their own thing. And they're like
Yeah.
marching to their own beat of their own drum. And we've been very supportive, and it's been awesome seeing McCartney grow as a person and know who they are and be very, very confident. And this kid is fucking confident.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
when you talk to him and
Well,
you're
we've
like, are
seen
you
him
sure?
on the basketball court.
Like, yes, this is exactly what I am. And it was like as soon as they found out that there was a term for it, you know, and there's been things in my life that's happened too.
Yeah.
Where you're talking about something and then somebody will say, oh, this is what that's called.
Right.
And then when you have a term for it, you're like, oh shit, like my banana-induced pink eye.
It's sort of it's validating though. This
Right.
is a real thing. It's acknowledged. It's yes, absolutely.
And like, oh shit, I'm not weird. Like there's other
Right.
people that are doing this too. It's not just me that feels this way.
Yeah.
And so it's been really, really awesome. And Big Cat and Large doing it with me was great too.
Yeah, they did. Basically, they said, "All right, teach us. We got a lot to learn," and everybody just listening and learning. And I know that obviously full support here at Barstool. And I had to keep from. I was like, do I look at the comments? Do I not? Whatever. It was what you expect, and my hope is that people just listen. If you do one thing, go over to that episode on Podfathers, and please listen to it, no matter how you're feeling or thinking. I know even I learned a lot listening to it still. So that's my hope. But
And with the Barstool comment thing, that's not real life.
It's
like
not.
those people aren't real.
I
like
have to remind myself of that,
They're
too.
trying to say the most outlandish shit to
Right.
get the most upvotes. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Well,
that's
but-
not like real people.
But
Right.
those sorts of people do exist.
Oh, sure.
Which kind of stinks.
Yeah, I mean those like morons certainly exist.
Right.
I think
And-
it's the minority, though. I always look at it like an iceberg. I'm like, you see the tip of the iceberg is the people who are loud, and then underneath is so much bigger, and it's what's keeping everything else afloat, and that's the good people who thankfully are too busy doing good things in life to be obnoxious on the internet. But I saw too a lot of, like you said, a lot of great comments of people saying, "Hey, I learned something."
And maybe even a
some good
bigger
things.
development than that. Me and Lugo are back on speaking terms.
Yeah, I saw
Text
that.
message there.
I've told you a couple months ago that First Sergeant Lugo, I used to imitate his voice like, "Hey there, Gunny, what the fuck are you doing,
Yeah,
Gunny?"
yeah.
Like I would do that, and he found out about it and got very upset.
Yeah.
Blocked my
Had a
number for
falling
a
out.
little while.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he blocked your
Oh
number.
yeah, I couldn't even call. Go
Oh,
straight
wow.
to voicemail.
Oh, wow.
And
Straight to voicemail. That's tough.
Monday or Tuesday when I got to New York, I was on the train actually coming in, and I got a text. He was like, "Hey there, Catherine. What's going on, dog?"
He's one of those. It's like when Morgan Freeman, like if you read things in his voice, you can't help but hear his voice when you see.
Here's when you know it's funny. Like, I've never met this dude, never heard him actually speak. All I know is your imitation of him, but I find it so funny. There's Alex's friend. Her group always imitates the guy's mom, and I'm gonna finally meet her in a few weeks, and I almost kind of don't want to because the
it's the
imitation is
mystique.
so funny that I want to enjoy her that way. That it might be a letdown. So I kind of want to just know First Sergeant Lugo through your voice, through your eyes, and never actually meet the
Same,
guy.
I have a whole image of him in my mind.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
guys think he looks like based
Whoa.
on how I've done his voice?
I like thick, like not because he's overweight or anything, but like big, like
Barrel-chested.
Like a
barely
thumb?
barrel-chested,
Barrel-chested.
yes. Barrel-chested,
Very short haircut.
thick, dark. No, he's got thick, dark hair. Nice, juicy. I just.
No,
feel
I
like
can't
kinda
imagine a
handsome.
First Sergeant
Nice,
having long
juicy.
hair.
I picture him like Rudy.
Nice juicy
like
what?
Rudy Reyes.
You touched your face. What the fuck does that mean? A nice juicy face?
Because he talks, he has he's got like this soulful voice. It's like
yeah.
sorry to Lugo. I picture him like Rudy Reyes, and he's just stunning.
By the way, Rudy Reyes, thank God he didn't pursue a career in acting because that guy stinks at acting. He's a great guy,
Oh,
great
Lugo.
Marine,
Oh,
but
wow.
stinks at
Oh,
acting.
geez.
Yeah, Rudy didn't even do anything.
Yeah,
to you,
yikes.
guys.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm just calling like I see it.
Am I
But
way off?
Got the best tits in the game though. He
Yeah.
is fucking hot.
oh yeah, no, Rudy Reyes. Good
Am
for
I
you,
right,
buddy.
though?
Wait, no,
that?
hold
About
on.
Lugo?
I think like
okay.
super duper high and tight. I think definitely like we said, barrel chested. I picture him 5'7", and his persona is trying to overcome his lack of height.
No, he doesn't give a fuck. He is short. He's
see?
he's
I don't
5'7",
think
but
he
he
cares,
doesn't give
though.
a fuck
Yeah.
about being shorter.
Okay.
Some of my favorite things about him. One, he's from Mexico.
Yeah.
Like so, he came to America. I think when he was like 10.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
His name forever was Lugo Diaz because in Mexico you carry the mother and the father's name.
Yeah.
And so his name was Lugo Diaz. And then when he became a citizen, I was the company gunny whenever he became a U.S. citizen after being in the Marine Corps for like 18 years. He got a citizenship and he came to work the next day. And I was like, "Hey, First Sergeant Lugo Diaz." That's what his name was forever. And he's
Yeah.
like, No, dog. I'm a fucking American now. I'm just First Sergeant Lugo, and that's it.
Just chop it down. So,
He's just like the best.
and wait, he reached back out though. So what's going on?
He's coming to San Antonio.
No.
And might be moving to San Antonio.
Wow.
And he's like, "Yeah, dog, I might be fucking coming over transferring over to San Antonio. I'm working on base again. My kids are in school. I was wondering, what side of town do you live on, dog?"
I just pictured the two of you at the bottom of your pool goofing around.
I told my wife, and she was like,
Has Annalise ever met him?
"Yeah."
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he always, "Mrs. Coffin, so good to see you." Like, he's just always
Yeah.
so, like, kind. And the way that he would go about his business every day. It's, like, I learned so much from him.
Yeah.
Like, about being a great Marine leader. Like, a lot of the things came from him. And he just would make your day. Like,
Yeah.
usually Marine first sergeants, they're dicks.
Yeah.
And they're terrible to be around. And he was, if you were a shitbag. Like,
Right.
he was
If you deserved
very
it.
rough. But for me, like, he always treated me great. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would walk in the morning and he'd be like, "Hey, dog, morning, Gunny, how are you?" And it just would
It's contagious. It
start
is.
your day off
Yeah.
well. Like, and
Yeah.
he was like a legit motivator. And I would love it when he would come into my office and be like, "But to head out for a run, you want to come?" Like, "No, first son, I don't." He's like, "All right, dog, I'll be back like an hour."
I'll tell you what, I got it's funny what sticks with you. I had a coach in high school who used to say energy is infectious. I took that with me in sports, in the Army, in my civilian life, in business and everything. So I totally get that. The type of person like that who's not, you can always decipher.
Fake it.
Right. You can always
genuine.
decipher if it's just kind of like fake and you're trying to be bubbly to be annoying. But you can tell when it's guys like this. Yeah.
Yikes, Kate.
What are you hiding? What are you hiding?
All right, so that's round one. Let's get into a little bit of round two. Some actual things that would make First Sergeant Lugo, his head explode if you found this out. What do we got for round two?
Let me start off with a little song, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nellis space, but I'm happy. E4, but I'm kind. Chair force, I'm speed walking, yeah. A10's high, but I'm grounded. Beard shave, but it's stubbling. I'm lost, I'm an LT, baby. And what it all comes down to, in those notes, is that everything's gonna be fine, fine, fine. 'Cause I got one hand in my pocket, and the other one is ready to fly sky. Oh, you think I'm done, but I'm not.
No.
Flight's high, but I'm sober. First class, and I'm underpaid. The flight line, I am working, yeah. One more month of enlistment. I'm here, but I'm really gone. Am I right, gang? A warthog goes by buzzing. And what it all comes down to, I'm almost done. Is that everything's gonna be quite all right. 'Cause I got one hand in my pocket and the other one is flicking a cigarette into a designated cigarette receptacle because I'll get in trouble if I don't put it in there. And what it all comes down to is Air Force the only one who got it right just yet. 'Cause they've got their hands in their pockets and the other branches are just jealous. Whew.
That was honest to God better than I thought it was going to be.
Thanks.
That was good, and you wrote it really well.
Thank you.
Very proud of you.
That was tough. I can't hit the notes.
So our guy Kyle tagged me in this when Task and Purpose put it out that they were going to they were going to have their hands in their pockets, and
Yes.
I don't know how I would react if I was still in. I like to think that I would be upset about it.
Yeah.
But I also think, so what? Now, like,
Right.
once it's like fine, it's fine. Like, and I think there's a shit ton of regulations that I would have enforced big time while I was in that really they don't mean anything.
Right.
Like walking and talking on your cell phone.
Doesn't mean a thing.
Who the fuck now is distracted by doing that?
Yeah.
Like, they talk about like situational awareness, and that's
Right.
the reason why you're not supposed to do it. What are you supposed to be aware of? Like, if you're walking out of the building,
Yeah.
it actually is less efficient. Like, if you are walking out of your battalion building and you need to get to your car and you got somewhere to go, you need to do things fast.
Yeah.
You have to have a conversation with somebody else at work. You got to stop.
If you
Like,
think about
Question:
it,
What's the
sitting
regulation
duck.
on AirPods? If you got AirPods in and you're on the phone,
forget it. Oh, if
AirPods,
I
I believe what the reg there is that you could do it when you're sitting at your workspace, but you cannot walk with them in.
I remember it used to be a big deal. People trying to wear them to the gym, and people were like, "Oh my god, how dare!"
Oh
I?"
yeah, like when you would see somebody running on the track with like, or not on the track, but just running down the street, and they would have their headphones in, and you have somebody like a conniption fit. It's like, what? I'm on the sidewalk,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
I'm on the side.
nothing doing to it.
And
Well,
if you're honking your horn, I'm gonna hear you anyways.
It's a big deal. Starting in October, the Air Force will break with decades of tradition across all branches by allowing its members to put their hands in their pockets while in uniform. The change is one of many grooming and uniform changes that loosen up restrictions for airmen. Others include being able to use a cell phone or drink water while walking in uniform.
wait, you couldn't used to be able to drink water
Hell
while you were
no.
walking? You
No,
had to
while you're
stop?
walking.
Cons.
Oh, yeah.
After I got out of the Marines, it took me like 3 years to walk and drink at the same time. I'm not kidding. Like the cell phone and stuff, I adapted
never
to
heard
a little
that one.
quicker.
Yep.
It took me a long time to walk and
That's
drink
wild.
at the same time.
And even at boot camp and shit like that, if they're like, get out and you got to get out of the chow hall, you're not allowed to chew. Like, you can't chew.
You
in
can't chew and
uniform.
walk either. Yeah, walking with gum in your mouth.
Gum, I think I
Forget it.
remember, but I didn't know about the chewing either.
Took
No,
me a
when
long
I
time.
got to the Air Force Base and there was a senior airman and she was talking to me while chewing gum,
Can't focus on
when I
anything
first got
else.
there, I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, it's like me when I see an
gonna
army
be an
person with a big
adjustment.
beret in their hair.
And she wasn't even standing at parade rest either.
Whoa.
Like, she came up to me and was like just
Nasty.
fucking talking. Like, even if I was just
She
like
was
a
back on the block.
regular staff NCO out, like I would expect, as your instructor, you're not
Yeah.
gonna sit at parade rest. Are
Right.
you fucking shitting me?
Yeah, It's crazy.
Locked her
the Air
little
Force is
nasty
getting
body up.
loosening things up with that, allowing longer hair and hair accessories.
Ponytails?
Ponytails, cosmetic tattoo. I can't believe the military's still functioning after that. You would have thought
I
all those
was
warfighters out there lost their marbles.
driving in Hoboken recently, and this woman, I don't know, maybe she's National Guard, whatever. First time seeing someone in uniform with a ponytail, it was weird.
It catches you off guard.
It
And
was
then-
weird.
But then it's like normal after you've seen it a couple
Yes,
times. Like,
I'm
it goes
sure.
away quick.
Yeah.
Because I saw it on Instagram where this, I think it was a captain, and she was doing like workout stuff, like demonstrating what they do for the new CFT and like trying to teach people how to get stronger. And it was great. And but she had on like her uniform with a ponytail, and I was like, that looks weird.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, but it's not unprofessional, but you're just so ingrained to think that it is because it was forever.
Just wait till Al-Qaeda comes up and grabs you by the ponytail, then see how much you like it. You know what I mean?
Because they don't have anything else to grab on, like 19 cargo pockets.
Yeah, like 20 knickknacks dangling off your cosmetic tattooing for men. They're allowing.
Oh,
so
really?
Say you get your eyebrow burned off or something, messing around with a little C4 or something, you can get that tattooed back on you.
I wonder
So.
how long would lips stay, you think? Because I know, like, if you get your hands tattooed, like the bottom of your hands, it goes away. So does your feet. So does your
Yeah.
lip. I wonder how long, like, the actual makeup would go. Because if I was a person who wore makeup consistently, I think I would do something like the
Like makeup
very
tattooing,
classic aspects that aren't going to go away.
Yeah.
You know, like you're always going to have eyeliner. That's
Right.
always going to be a thing. Like
Yeah.
eyeliner's not going to go out of style. I think I would do it.
I think you should. I was thinking
because you
about
would
Maybe
get
you should
out-
explore this.
Well, that's what microblading is, right? Isn't it kind of tattooing your eyebrows a little darker so you don't have to
Is
paint
it?
them on? That's pretty much what it is.
Microblading?
Yeah. Microblading, yeah. It's really popular now. Tons of women get it because we all darken, like even I do. If I'm getting dressed up, I darken my eyebrows a little bit. They make you look better in pictures.
Yeah, it is a tattooing
so
technique.
Tons of women now are getting, it's just called microblading. Tons of women are getting that done now. But fellas, if you got light brows,
I
you can do it in the
seen
Air
some
Force.
dudes that whenever they are losing their hair, they'll shave their head and then they just do like the real quick dots all over the place where
Makes
it
it look
looks like a
darker.
little stubble that's coming out.
Yeah, but don't do that, people. You guys, well, you do you. But
Yeah, okay,
this,
we don't judge.
This blew my
We don't hair
mind, this
tattoo
comment
judge.
here, because I can't picture any other branch saying something so reasonable. We trust our airmen, non-commissioned officers, and commanders with incredible resources and significant responsibilities, and will need to do so even more as we prepare for future conflicts. We likewise trust they can figure out what it takes and means to maintain standards without specifying exact behavior in every situation. So that's Air Force Lieutenant General Brian Kelly saying, we actually trust our airmen to make good choices.
That's a
little bit."
slippery
Yeah, I don't
slope.
like that. I don't because
I don't want them thinking for themselves.
You can't trust them.
No.
Then I like this. This is somebody, a senior airman talking to Task and Purpose, who preferred to stay anonymous to avoid reprisal. And they were saying something good. I honestly feel like the leaders making these changes have the airmen's best thoughts in mind. The Air Force is paving the way for all other branches to follow. We are the greatest role models. Again, they said
Who
that
the fuck is going to be
anonymously.
like, what the fuck did you say?
Yeah, what?
The Air Force leadership is great.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
How dare you?
So, and also...
Hey there, dog, come here. What the fuck did you
Yo,
say?
what? Male bulk hair standards. Do you know what? Quick, bulk hair standards. What's that called?
That's
I know you would know.
No, I have no idea.
it's how much it can be off your head.
It's the fluff on top of your head.
Fluff,
That's
got
the
it.
bulk of it. Yeah, cultivating mass up
I
there.
like how you do. I was like, this.
Yeah,
fucking
I was like,
nerd's
I
gonna
know he'll know. But it's increasing from 2 to 2.5 inches.
Oh.
Yeah, again, cosmetic tattooing. And the size of hair accessories can be 2 inches now for women. So, and hosiery optional for dress uniforms. Transparent piercing spacers
Can
are
we get to the
authorized.
spot where we say pantyhose is fucking stupid?
Yes.
Like, because pantyhose is stupid.
Why are they stupid? Aren't they like meant for warmth?
They're meant to make.
I don't
Why
think so.
do we wear them?
I don't know. You're the.
I
you're
guess
the
it's
one who,
like, wasn't it so if you couldn't shave your legs? Something?
What?
Like it hides the
let
fact
me
that you
tell
didn't shave?
No, because let me tell you something.
It poked through?
Oh yeah, and not only does it poke through, it looks like a stuffed animal squished into like a bag.
I don't know why they're around, but just the next time, if you're listening, the next time you put on pantyhose, think about how fucking stupid it is.
You're putting legs on over your legs.
Like, you can't pull the pantyhose out of the little egg carton thing that it comes in and be like,
Yeah.
this is going to make me look better.
yeah.
Well, all right. So you got to think there's other colors too, like black. So maybe if you're in
Even more
formal
dumb.
wear,
Like, why?
I think because the black legs might look better depending on your skin complexion. That might look better with whatever color dress you're wearing.
I don't know. I'm really not sure. The only good thing about
Hide
them-
physical features such as blemishes, bruises, scars, hair, spider veins, or varicose veins.
Now, if you do have a lot of spider veins, I would definitely suggest it.
I do.
Ew. Dave.
Wait, what?
Ew.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Gross.
That wasn't
Anyway.
nice.
hands in pockets.
Oh,
over
man.
over at Air Force. I think it's a cool thing. They're the only ones keeping up with the times. So
I'm going to tell you something. This is really for our folks out there wearing a suit. If you're in a suit for a formal occasion and you're going to take any pictures, don't put your hands in your pockets. It looks like such trash. Do not
I
put
will
your hands
agree.
in your pockets.
don't mind if it's in uniform, but if it's in dress uniform, no.
I also, so when I was an instructor at the Air Force School, you have to do this class where you end up having to do 50 minutes where you're not allowed to say any unnatural pauses for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
You only get 3 mistakes that you can get to make before you fail.
Sure.
Like you're not allowed to do it. And you also can't talk with your hands.
Oh.
So you have to go and just hold your hands essentially in front of you and speak for 50 minutes without making any hand gestures. To me, that's more distracting. Like if I was watching, I'd be like, this motherfucker's a robot.
Yeah,
Yes.
why aren't you moving a little
Move
bit?
It's like
your
the-
hands, you bitch.
It's like the episode of Seinfeld where the woman just walks, but she doesn't swing her arms. It's
Right.
like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Why aren't you moving your arms just
Also,
a little
how
bit?
do people? I'm sure you've seen it a million times where you're marching in formation and they're swinging the arms the wrong way.
Oh god, that was me at first.
Oh,
Man.
was it?
Boy, me and my
It's
spider
like you
veins.
forgot how to walk.
It was my spider veins keep mixing me up.
I love it when you'd be like, Marines to be promoted, center,
Oh, yeah.
right, pace, punch. And then they're in front of like the entire battalion and they're moving their arms back and forth.
Yeah.
You're like, what do you do? I saw this Instagram. It was at a recruiting station. And this young PFC, I guess he was on like recruiter's assistance or something like that. And he was getting promoted to Lance Corporal. And they're inside. They're not wearing covers. The dude is a young devil puppy.
Yeah.
Then he goes in to get promoted and he stops in front of the CO. And normally if you're outside and you're doing this and Marines be center march and you do the greeting of the day, good morning sir, and you salute. Well, inside with no cover on, you obviously don't salute.
Right.
So the young troop kept trying to salute, and the gunny that was standing beside him just going whack, like and slapping his hand down every time. But he thought he was making a mistake. Like he was
was
like
saluting wrong?
So he kept trying
no,
again.
he thought he was saying the wrong thing.
Oh.
Because you're supposed to say good
Oh,
morning,
God.
sir. Whatever your rank is, reporting is ordered.
Yeah.
And then they say carry on, and then you drop your. And he thought he was just saying the wrong shit, so he started saying it over again, and still putting his hand up. And he's whack.
Oh, God.
He did it like 5 times, and the gunny was finally like, "You're inside with no cover on, dumbass."
You know
Like,
what?
Don't salute.
I think, like, genuinely, one of the reasons I knew that a lifetime in the military was not for me was that I knew if I stayed in, I was going to have to learn more customs and courtesies, and I knew I would spend the rest of my life fucking up in front of other important
Most people are like, I want to live somewhere else. I want to start a family and not be impeded by deployments. Kate's
was
like,
like-
there's going to be too much stuff I got to know.
Yes, genuinely, yes. I was
I
like,
can see that though. Honestly, like that's very honest
Yeah.
because you're going in and you look at what people who are senior, what they know, like people that have been around. You're like, I'm not gonna know.
and
that.
you know, guys call me Katie Stolen Valor. You'd be amazed at what I didn't know when I was in. I mean, so I was like, no. I'm already way too behind the curveball.
You remember I've told you guys about Corporal Donaldson that I had in
Yeah.
Okinawa, how he would always ride around in the bongo vans to Beastie Boys, like
Yes.
super fast. He came out. So whenever you are certifying with the dog, the provost marshal or the base commander are the only ones that have the authority to certify you in order to find bombs or drugs on base.
Yeah.
So whenever we would do a certification, it has to be the provost marshal, who's usually at least a light bird. Typically, it'll be a colonel. And so they come out, and it's really a lot of junior troops. Like sergeants sometime will have a dog, but usually it's corporals and lance corporals that are primary dog handlers on a base. Well, Corporal Donaldson goes in to report in, and you don't wear a cover whenever you're searching.
Yeah.
And he salutes when he reports in. And he had already certified like 10 times, like before with different dogs. And he comes out and he sits down on the explosive dog truck like 30 seconds after he goes in. And usually the only thing that causes you to instantaneously fail is if you have your choke chain on backwards because it could choke the dog.
Yeah.
It's like, did you have your? I was like, surely you didn't have your choke chain on backwards. He's like, no. I saluted without a cover. He's just like so
Simple as
defeated,
that.
and he was like, now everybody's gonna think I'm a fucking idiot forever. And I was like, well, you are an NCO. And
Yeah.
without a
That's
cover
pretty
on.
bad. That's pretty
I
bad.
have like no doubt that 100% would have been me doing that. Like I 100%. That's customs and courtesy is not for me.
Yeah, and that would
Not for me.
probably lead you to round number 3, right, Kate?
That would, yeah. The pettiest things you ever got yelled at for, because pockets was a big one. And when it got cold, you try and just slip your fingertips in it a little bit if it was just the tips. Just bloop, right in there. But that got me thinking about the other petty things that you get yelled at for in the military, that when you're trying to describe the military, how different it truly is to civilians, to me, pointing at these answers is one of the best things to explain what
Right.
a wildly different world it is.
Right.
Because if you're a civilian listening to some of these things, you're like, wait, what?
That doesn't make
Why?
any sense.
But if you're in, you're like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, some of those things are like mortgages. If you want to find out about mortgage, you want that to
Absolutely.
make more sense.
Yes.
You should go with our friends at Cross Country Mortgage. It's much like us here at Barstool. They're a people-first group. They're dedicated to the fundamentals of the mortgage lending business, which results in a fast, convenient, and less stressful home financing or refinancing experience. Rates are unbelievably low right now, so make sure you go and try to buy a house or refinance your house if you need to do that. These are the best folks to do it with. They're super nice, super kind, and super efficient. Go to crosscountrymortgage.com/barstool to learn more about your future home buying experience or refinance your current mortgage with the GI Bill, or not the GI Bill, the VA loan and all that stuff. They know all about that. They have experts in every single aspect of it, from when you first make your offer to when you're actually closing on the house. They're going to walk you through every single step of the way. That's crosscountrymortgage.com/barstool. So let's get into what we get yelled at.
Yeah, pettiest things you get yelled at for. For me, one of the things that came to mind was, have you heard what California rolling a stop sign is?
Yeah, you just kind of roll through it. You kind of just don't really even pause. You just slow. You're like, all right, I'm good.
Slow down. Well, I came up to a four-way intersection. There were no other cars in that intersection. I was pulling into the PX on Camp Pendleton. There's no other cars. I California roll it in my 2000 Hyundai Sonata that the windows didn't go down, the AC didn't work, whatever. Anyways, I pull into the spot. I get out of my car. I don't even have the door open yet. There is a master sergeant. He has parked me in. He has stopped his car behind my car so I can't go anywhere. He gets out and starts screaming at me for California rolling the stop sign. I didn't even see him watching me. No idea. And there was 2 other people waiting to yell at me for it too. Like it was
Damn.
like they had all seen me California roll the stop sign. It was this big, and that was one of my.
I wouldn't exactly
believe
call
it's-
that petty, though.
Yeah, but that leads me to believe it's a little more than a California roll.
Yeah.
Like, if you,
I think you're being a little generous with yourself.
I was going 40 through.
I was going 40 and I blew a stop sign.
Like I hit a kid.
Like, what's the big deal?
There was no one around. I was drunk.
Oh.
No. No, it's pretty fucked. No, Chaps, yours was wearing a flight suit.
Yeah,
that
so
didn't fit you.
I've talked about it before, but whenever after I got shot, you have a big cast on your arm, and I had to get a bigger flight suit, and Master Gun screamed at me because I looked like a sloppy bag of shit. But I did look like a sloppy bag of shit.
You definitely did.
You're right. You followed your tweet. You're like, but in his defense, Cons, you wore civilian clothes when you were told to wear civilian clothes.
Yeah, so we were out for a field exercise, and I was working in the S3 shop at that point, which is the plans office, and I had to act as Op 4, opposition forces, for the different platoons that were going through scenarios. So they told me, my S3 told me, all right, well, don't be in uniform because that'll look stupid. Wear anything, basically. So I was like, okay, got it, Roger. Come to the end of the one day, I'm like in the chow line. My battalion commander like stares at me, brings me aside, and goes, what the fuck are you doing, Captain Crehan? I'm like, I'm getting dinner, sir. He's like, why are you dressed like this? I'm like, Major so-and-so told me to wear different clothes, and I just got my ass chewed for 20 minutes, and how I should have known that I shouldn't have been in those clothes.
What Cons isn't saying is that he was wearing all pastel vineyard vines is what really got his goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see that.
I was actually in a full tuxedo, and that really just
He was
threw him for a
probably
loop.
like, hey
It's
there,
like-
Captain. Why the fuck are you wearing 3-inch inseam pants?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Our producer Nick, he forgot to wake up Nona for Firewatch.
Oh.
So he got in
That was
trouble
the
for
second
that.
time, yeah.
Yeah, but we got so many good answers for this because everybody.
There are a lot.
It sticks with you after you get out. It's that one little thing that just grinds your gears that you're like, I can't believe I got yelled at for that dumb shit. We had over 250 people on Instagram tell us theirs and a ton on Twitter. So remember, at ZeroBlock30. If you don't follow us yet, what are you even doing? I mean, come on. But anyway, here are some of the most common answers. I scrolled through all of them. Here's some of the ones that I saw multiple times. People getting yelled at for getting their wisdom teeth out and then not being loud and enthusiastic enough after they got there. Really?
At boot camp, yeah.
Several people said that at boot camp. They were on their way back from dental with their wisdom teeth pulled, and people like, open your bitch ass mouth, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, but I didn't.
Drill instructor Sergeant Wiley stood over me in my rack after I got my wisdom teeth, and he was like, scream, "I, sir," as loud as you can, but quietly.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what?
I sir, that's terrible. That's fucking
Like,
terrifying.
what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, that's
And they're
terrifying.
like, "I, sir." No, louder. Shh.
What? Brilliant. Oh, the brilliance of a drill instructor.
Open your bitch ass mouth. Shh.
The other thing with that was them getting in trouble. People saying, I got in trouble for getting my wisdom teeth out. Like
Oh, yeah.
being accused of being lazy. And they're like, no, they made it mandatory because my teeth were coming out through my
Yeah.
gums. Having garbage in my garbage can was
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
imagine
That's
that.
a big one. That's
Imagine
a lot
that.
of people saying that. God forbid you use your
nasty
garbage.
piece of
Yeah.
shit with your pizza in there.
Absolutely. Their
Using a
roommates-
receptacle for exactly what it's supposed to be used
Yeah.
for.
How dare you?
Wet sinks are always my favorite one,
Ooh,
too.
yeah.
Wet sink. You had to have your sink
wet
totally
sink or
dry.
wet shower.
I totally forgot about that too. Yeah, because room inspections Friday mornings were usually after PT, and you were like desperately trying
Don't
to.
brush your teeth.
Yeah, and God forbid your towel looks wet after you dry that shit
Right.
up. So fuck
Yeah.
it. Holy shit! This
That kind of stuff is really ridiculous.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, and that's like whenever they say that the health and comforts or the room inspection is to make sure that the Marines aren't living gross. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's for you to harass them.
Yes.
And you're putting me in a moldy room anyway.
Because you could just walk in and be
So-
like, clean, like
Yeah.
fine. Or you can go in and be a dick and be like, do you have water in your sink?
Yeah. I have asbestos too, but you don't seem to care about that.
Right.
That's all right. Another common response, getting yelled at because of something their roommate, like my bunkmate ran slow, so I got yelled at all the time for it. It's like something beyond
But I
your
do
control.
like that. Motivate your damn roommate to be better.
Absolutely. Not having equipment when it was supply who never issued it to them in the first place. We had a lot of people saying things like, I got yelled at for not wearing Gore-Tex in the rain when supply was out of Gore-Tex at the time. It was beyond my control.
I like that too.
And then my favorite, there were so many people who shared very, very small uniform discrepancies at ridiculous times. Like a guy who was wearing his sunglasses wrong mid-piss. A higher up came over to him while his dick was out peeing. I was like, oh, blah, blah, your sunglasses, the reg. And he's like,
Oh, I
okay.
thought they were going to say secure that Irish pennant.
Yeah, that too. And then like things like dirty uniforms after, me and my unit got back from the field at 02 and I got yelled at walking through a parking lot because there was dust on my boots. It's like shit like that. And then smiling. A lot of people got in trouble for smile. Like,
You better
hey,
not.
secure that smile.
You showing your fucking teeth? I view that as a sign of aggression.
Yeah. Here's a couple others. Shayla said she got in trouble for not standing at parade rest while I was showing someone something specific on a piece of paper. So,
Well,
Did you ever have somebody that would call you? Because I used to do it to the Marines that were doing like barracks duty, like stand at position of parade rest when you talk to me. Like
Yeah.
while I'm like, are you at parade rest?
while you're on the phone.
actually, I'd never heard of that one before.
No,
That's
but
pretty
that's
good.
great. I wish I had.
Be like, hey, who is this? PFC Johnson? Are you at parade rest? No, staffs aren't. Get there. Let me know when you're there.
The worst is
right, I'm
I
there.
would have. I know I would have done that. I know I would have. In a room by myself.
I could see Chaps doing that to people, but actually be hiding behind a corner just in case they lied,
Oh, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
popping out behind the corner. Why the hell did you just
Oh,
lie to
man,
me, devil
they
dog?
used to hate when I would come to the barracks.
Yeah.
When I would be,
Oh,
I
I
would walk
believe
in
it.
right after chow and be like, well.
We've said this before too. You would have hated me if I
Oh,
was in
yeah.
your unit. I would have
yes.
been like, God, he's such a dickhead, blah, blah, blah. And you
What
would have
the
been
fuck
like,
is this
she's
guy's
such
problem?
a shitbird. How does she know nothing? Jordan said, using a latrine after lights out without putting my hair in a bun. So it was dark in the squad bay. No one was around. And then next thing you know, she's in trouble for going to take a
The
pee
most
with her hair
grossed
down.
out I've seen that I was on doing like barracks shit and yelled at somebody, but I still stand behind this because I would have to inspect the female head too. Like when I would go in there, and obviously nobody was in there, but I went in there and one of the Marines had left their toothbrush on like showers can have like a bench in
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
In the shower, she would leave her toothbrush there, and I called her into the head and I was like, "Why the fuck is your toothbrush in here?" And she was like, I just leave it there, Staff Sergeant, so I don't have to take it back.
No.
I was like, this where people put their fucking ass is where you put your goddamn toothbrush, you nasty thing.
Oh God, no.
She's like, well, I never really thought about it that way, Sass. I'm like, what the fuck else way can
What
you
would you
possibly
think?
think about it? It's wood. It's porous. Like, it is going to absorb all of those germs.
Because God forbid you lug that very heavy toothbrush back and forth.
You already
moist
have your other
environment.
shit.
Oh God. I like this one. JP said, went to the porta shitter in Iraq in shorts and shower shoes. Of all people, Sergeant Major Estrada, the future Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, was waiting outside and ripped me a new one.
And that is not one that you want. Because if you don't know what Sergeant Major Estrada looks like he should be on every Marine recruiting poster of all time.
Yeah. Terrifying. Like
Even
terrifying.
as like a 30-year Sergeant Major, he was still running like sub 19-minute 3 miles.
Yeah.
Like
Absolute
crazy.
Powerhouse. Holiday and RGV said, having tacos in my barracks room, God forbid. I love this one. Gray Lawn Dart said he went to lunch at Applebee's in Fayetteville. Hostess sat us at the tall tables by the bar. Some captain chewed us out for drinking in uniform. We pointed out that we were not drinking alcohol. He said it's the perception that we were doing it was bad because they were seated in the bar area.
That's a very Southern Baptist way to go about things.
Yeah.
Like, where you're like, oh, why are you in a bar? Well, I'm not drinking. Well, you look like you are.
You look like,
You're
yeah,
causing somebody to
absolutely.
stumble.
That's a
It's the
stretch.
implication.
But okay.
Boondoggle 2 said teeth chattering in formation at OCS at 7 in the morning in
I love
February
that
in
one.
Quantico.
Secure those fucking teeth, devil dog.
Something physically beyond his control. Along that line, here's other people then
He said
said,
he
Wait,
had to do a
but
500-word essay at 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
about
That's
his teeth.
ridiculous. But also, who's yelling at him at OCS?
The drill instructors.
the drill instructor.
Oh, they have drill instructors for OCS?
Enlisted
Enlisted,
Marine.
yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Other formation ones that people got in trouble: squinting while facing the sun, sneezing during allergy season, laughing at a fart, eyes following. Who's not gonna?
Right.
Eyes following a helicopter, and a stray cat walking by formation all got people in trouble.
I mean, actually, for a lot of those, I don't know. Have some bearing. Have some bearing.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes somebody lets a big fart rip.
Yeah, it's hard not to laugh.
you gotta laugh. I'm sorry, gun to my head. I'm gonna.
There was a video that was going around about bearing and things like that, where it was a group of Army first sergeants and sergeants major that were conducting like a soldier of the quarter board or whatever, and the sergeant major went over and flipped the chair that you're supposed to sit in on its side, and they would tell like the soldier that would come in like, go ahead and have a seat. And some of them, because you're taught to do dumb shit, like just be confident.
Message
And so
to
they're like,
Garcia.
oh, it's the chair sideways, I'm gonna sit on the armrest. And like finally, after like 3 or 4 soldiers go through, everybody was doing that. The soldier just picks it up and like sets it back upright and sits down. And they're like, you won the board, get the fuck out.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Yep.
That's
Like
a little
lemmings.
ridiculous, but it makes a lot of sense.
Just a couple more. My CO called, this is from Wolves Grove. My CO called our shop's office phone. I answered with my rank and name per his instructions, and he proceeded to tell me that I pronounced my own name wrong. Yeah. Daniel Jones, 17.
Wait, hold
love
time out. I need to know what this person's last name is. And how do you... Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yep.
Actually.
Daniel Jones, 17, knocking twice instead of 3 times on a door because it gives the impression you're a higher rank. He just knocked the wrong amount of times. And then, yeah, people in the presence of a stray cat. That was the one. And finally, this was the most... We were talking about microblading earlier. I couldn't believe how common on both Instagram and Twitter this answer was. People getting yelled at for their eyebrows.
Really?
This was from all branches, all genders. Yeah, people saying I got ripped on all the time because mine were too, like, people with really light eyebrows. Mine were too thick. Mine were too thin. Mine were too whatever. But,
That's when I
yeah.
love the drill instructors where they would call like somebody by a random object.
Yeah.
Like I told you all the time, my favorite one that I've ever seen is, hey there, kitchen gloves.
Yes.
Hey there, eyebrows, come here.
Yeah.
Just a random attribute, and that's
Yeah.
what you just get called. Hey there, fucking teeth, get over here.
Do you think they teach that? I wish, like, drill instructors have the most brilliant minds with that shit. After a while, they
It's
become
just
so
because you're
diabolical.
so around it.
Yeah,
Like,
you
and
just absorb it.
You just keep like my first sergeant Barrett, he would always tell people, and I love it, I use it with my kids still all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, you look like you're out in left field with a football bat.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. They're yoo-hoos.
What does left field have to do with anything? And what the hell is a football bat?
I never actually heard about the eyebrows thing. That was
a lot
a
of
learning
people getting
experience
yelled
for
at
me.
for their eyebrows. I didn't know. We had a couple ladies in boot camp with like mustaches and stuff, and the DIs did not mince words
Ooh.
about fixing that shit. So,
Yeah.
unstaffed.
How do you fix that in boot camp though?
They give them special. Yeah, they let
Oh.
them take care of it. So
Okay.
We had our razors taken away though until the end. So.
Yeah, I think one of the grossest stories that you've told about Lady Boot Camp is whenever you guys were allowed to shave your vaginas again.
Yep.
And it just looked like a 70s carpet
Yep.
in the shower.
I was a shower recruit, so I remember it very well.
Shower recruit. And also having to scrub those fucking like long latrine toilets is so disgusting.
Yep.
Like looking back, like getting in there, those had to be dry. I forgot about that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
The urinal you had to take like rags and shit and wash out the water.
Better hope you're wearing those
toilet.
kitchen gloves.
You better believe it. And
Chills on my arms.
uh-huh.
Chills on my arms.
But it helps you keep safe, like Firewatch does. That's what they are for, and that's what Simply Safe is for. Simply Safe has been making people safe for over 15 years at the moment, and a passion to protect people not only drives all their engineering details in its product, but it motivates every interaction with its customers. And the thing is, Simply Safe makes it so easy. It just takes about 2 minutes to customize the system on their website, simplysafe.com/CBT. Simply Safe has trained highly trained experts ready to help you out when you need them, whether there's a fire, a burglary, a medical emergency, or even when you're just setting up the system. They actually, and it's great because like if you live at, first of all, I don't think I've said this to anyone. So at my new house, there's these French doors, and
Not very American of you.
right,
It's okay.
and there's two sets on the
Chaps
back
hates
side of our
America.
house, like on the back porch, on both sides. There is 2 sets of French doors, and
Any French balconies in your house?
no French balcony.
Okay.
No French fries either.
Ooh.
Freedom
Okay.
fries only.
Freedom
So
fries.
whenever we would go to bed, when we first got there, there was like 3 nights out of 7, the French doors had like pushed open. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Yeah.
and I would keep pushing them together. And I'm like, I think these door jams are like messed up. And then, so I was researching on YouTube, like how to fix French doors that appear to be stuck. And the guy was like, make sure that the handle goes up. And then I found out if you push the handle up, there's little spikes in the top of the door
Yeah,
that
they
come
Yeah.
up. I'd never seen those
Yeah.
before. Who would have known? But I knew that my door's open because Simply Safe gives you a little alert when a door's been open for longer than like
Ooh.
30 seconds. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, dude, check it out. The French doors might be open. So I went to go see. You can do that too by going to simplysafe.com/CBT. You're going to get 20% off your system, and you're going to get a free camera too. Go to simplysafe.com/ZBT. That's where you need to go. Let's go on to round number 4, a little update about Afghanistan.
Wah, wah, wah.
Is this true? I didn't see this news that Paul
Well, it was very
said.
recent,
Yeah,
right before we started recording.
The U.S. is sending 3,000 troops back into Afghanistan
Oh
as
my
the country
God.
falls apart. Here we go. The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. Anyways, yes, and a lot of Marines apparently. So
Oh, God.
this comes to us from Foreign Policy. The Taliban is sweeping aside Afghan defense forces at an alarming rate, so fast we've had to update this newsletter multiple times to keep pace. Publicly, Biden administration officials are clinging to calls for peace negotiations, like asking the Taliban where they want to be and who they want to be in this world, as Khan was saying in the beginning there. Come on, guys, come on. Where things stand today, behind the scenes, officials are saying they're stunned by how quick the advance was. Any hopes for peace talks are gone. Intel assessments are...
They're not stunned.
I was just going to say,
There's
really?
no
You're
way.
stunned?
Yeah.
You're
have
not
all the-
stunned.
Like, I'm an idiot, and I'm not stunned.
Have you
because
paid
I can
attention to
read.
anything the last
This
20
is
years?
like the
get
hot dog, and I
actual-
think you should leave. Whoa, who did... What?
Actual intel has got to tell you this is going to be bad.
Yeah. They said Kabul could fall within 90 days, making previous assessments that it would take 12 months seem rosy by comparison. 10 of Afghanistan's provincial
Some
capitals
people even
have
said,
fallen.
I've even seen 30 days.
I've seen that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The U.S. Embassy, actually, I saw another story where they reached out to the Taliban and was like, hey, do you mind sparing us?
See, I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, I
Like,
have
do they
no
have
idea.
like a HR? Like, is that who you call?
Yeah.
Like Taliban has PAO?
Yeah. I have no idea.
Who's in charge here?
20
We got to put out a
years-
statement. I need to speak to somebody.
Yeah, excuse me. And also, I have my maternity leave, Taliban. I just want
Right.
to check in on my maternity leave
Yeah.
while I'm at it.
I wonder what their CFT looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah.
What do you guys do for your CFT?
What would the Taliban do for the CFT?
Digging, I think.
Yeah, a lot of digging.
Like-
Digging,
Yeah.
mountain
Place
climbing.
IEDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crock pot toss.
Yes.
You gotta throw a rice cooker, little bomb action. Anyways, 20 years and $2 trillion of war and nation building going up in smoke. good times.
Literally.
To think about corruption. Back in March, a top U.S. lawmaker told us that corruption is a big threat, and that is playing out in real time as well. So the government is crumbling from within because of corruption, and from without because of the Taliban. Afghan Air Force and Special Forces are the only ones really holding the line. Regular Afghan defense forces have melted away. The Air Force is stretched thin. The fleet of 160 aircraft are inoperable, so that doesn't really help. That is stretched thin indeed. A lawmaker from Herat said if the aircraft cannot fly and cannot target the gatherings of Taliban, they're only becoming stronger, storming into the cities. The loss of contractors is key. The withdrawal of U.S. and NATO troops. We also did not talk about thousands of contractors who support the coalition are also leaving. And they were extremely important, the logistical backbone of the Afghan military. The last pieces of leverage the U.S. have over the Taliban is weak at best. The latest threat is that we're waving over the Taliban's head is one of international isolation. Again,
I'm sorry, because we included them
What the fuck
before?
are we talking about?
We included them?
Just so
What are we
unbelievable.
talking
What?
about?
Stupid.
Yeah, so it's pretty useless. There are other retaliatory measures the United States and its allies can take to punish the Taliban for its use of force and human rights abuses, such as revoking international travel waivers.
But with all this stuff, and
Yeah,
like
it's-
it's falling apart.
yeah,
but with
long
all
story
this,
short.
realistically, what the fuck can you possibly do? Like,
So that's what I was going to say. I've seen a lot of people very critical and a lot of people saying, well, we knew this was going to happen. Well, yeah, but we tried to do something different because we couldn't keep banging our head against the wall and doing the same thing we've done for the last 20 years. Did something different. Yes, we're seeing now that it's falling again. But yeah, to your
nothing's
question,
worked.
nothing's worked.
We
So
did it for 20 years,
yeah.
and we went there, so we're gonna stay fucking 80 more. Like,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
eventually, this is the outcome,
And
no
as
matter
of,
what.
As
just
of
kicking
20
the can
minutes
down the
ago,
road.
1st Battalion, 8th Marines going with the Navy as part of the 24th MU back to Afghanistan, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines, and 1st Battalion, 194th
See, I think
Field
that
Artillery.
this is just a huge mistake, and I understand like
Yeah.
that there is. I feel so terrible for the people of Afghanistan. You pull everybody out, you cannot do this.
Right.
Like, you have to know, one, it makes you look like you made a terrible decision, like leaving, which you probably did.
Yeah.
But two, that decision is going to come. There's going to be a day. It already happened. It's like you're trying to put a Band-Aid on after it already fell off in the bathtub.
Yeah.
That Band-Aid is not going to work anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. It is like a bad breakup, but you keep going over
That was
for
probably
hookups.
the best Chaps analogy I've had in a while.
It
that was a
really
good one.
That
A
was
Band-Aid
pretty
in the
good,
bathtub.
not
That was
gonna
pretty
lie.
good.
Yeah.
That was
It's no more adhesive. It's just all soapy and
Yeah.
wet and gross.
Uh-huh.
Just swinging the old football bat around out there,
Yeah.
really, if you think
Looking
about
at
it. It's not
I think
great.
they just sent a bunch of drill instructors just to clown the Taliban. Just like really embarrass them. Like, just get everybody that said
Just
mean
shame
things
them.
in round number 3 and be like, just go roast the fucking shit out of them. Hey there, fucking kitchen gloves. Come here.
Have Joan
Hey there,
Rivers
shovel.
roast the fits. Yeah.
Hey there, wires. Come here.
Okay, pressure cooker.
Okay there,
Oh.
man dress.
Good cell phone. Come here.
Yeah. What a rush.
Okay, Blackbeard.
Hey there, you. Come here. What the fuck are you digging for?
What can I
Who
say?
the fuck authorized you to dig?
I would love
Wasn't
to
me.
watch a series where there'd be no end game to this. It'd just be purely, but where a platoon of Taliban have to go through Paris Island.
We should do like those old wife swap shows.
Well,
we get one of their
we saw-
platoons
they
and then
have
we
it,
send
that-
our DIs over there.
That old super viral of like the Iraqi guard
Jumping
trying to
jacks.
do jumping jacks.
Right. You think we screw up our marching with our arms?
Oh,
Forget it.
I forget that. My other buddy, I won't say his name because he's still in, and I think he would legitimately get mad. But he was a Mexican
coward.
dude. His Mendoza. He was Mexican too, and so First Sergeant Lugo would have him come out and do like lead PT sometimes. Like he would just pick random Marines, so
Yeah.
you get used to doing it. And he would always say "yumping yaks," and even though it's supposed to be side straddle hops,
Yeah, yeah,
he'd be
yeah.
like, "All right," and he didn't have an accent at all. He'd be
Yeah.
like, "All right, your next exercise is gonna be 10 yumping yaks," and Lugo would be like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Wait, was he doing it on purpose or he
Yes.
thought they
Yeah.
were actually called
Yeah.
yumping yaks?
No, he was
No,
doing it
no.
on purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fantastic.
In my water yug.
Well,
No, but this is just a frustrating thing because yes, I'm sure if you said, "Hey, put money on what's going to happen," a lot of us would have put money that this would have happened. But I don't know what the alternative
the US
was.
is going to put a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, just gonna throw some money.
I don't know
in
what the answer is,
Turn
and
it
no one can
away.
pretend that they do.
Oh.
It's just frustrating to see.
It is. Let's move on, though. We're going to move to Save Rounds and Alibis, which today is presented by our good friends at Rocky Boots. If you don't have Rocky Boots yet, you're a dummy. Go get some Rocky
True.
Boots. They have the best boots for the men and women who protect and serve this country, whether that's through the military or through law enforcement. Even Kate's beloved volunteer firefighters, they need to wear
Love 'em.
boots that have a little bit of a steel toe as well. Make sure you go to rockyboots.com, enter the promo code ZBT for 25% off your next purchase. I had a young devil puppy reach out to me and said that they were wearing Rocky Boots. They got the one that has like the actual steel toe because they work helicopter maintenance.
Yeah.
A toolbox fell on their foot and it like cracked the steel part.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't there, like, and his foot was fine, like inside.
Yeah.
But if it cracks a
Would've crushed
steel,
his toe.
it
Wow.
would have like
It would've
smashed his foot.
demolished
Every
so
bone in
many
his
bones.
foot, yeah.
And he was like, I legitimately think this saved my foot.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Rocky
Rocky
Boots.
Boots. Actually good.
Actually good. And marine proof, which is saying something.
That is
Wow.
definitely saying something.
That's a
big
very
deal.
rousing endorsement.
All right, let's do a little bit of Save Rounds and Alibis. Katie, we'll start with you.
First of all, my son went to daycare for the first time last week, and
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, don't worry about it," because I was sad that he was at daycare, and they're like, "He's gonna get sick. He'll be home all next week anyway." They were right. He got very, very sick, and he's been
I
home
don't
all
think
week.
people said that to you in that, like, oh, get
Yeah,
over
you
it, Kate.
dumb bitch.
Oh, you
Oh,
fucking idiot.
oh. Well, it was like that knowing parents being like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
cute that she's upset. He'll be."
Yeah.
She doesn't know what's coming for her, and it's true. He's been very sick all week, out a week. So maybe this is weird, but we have this big, huge tub. And I have a little tub one that I put him in, but my back's been bothering me, and it's hard to be bent over the tub and over the thing.
Yeah.
So I've been getting in the tub with him. Okay, I hold him in front of me, splash him around, whatever.
I don't think that's weird.
And because he's been sick, I'm like, let me put him in the nice warm tub today. We'll I'll hopefully get some whatever out. So I get in the tub with him. He proceeds to take an enormous shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Just, now that warm
Any-
water just loosened
Both
it all up.
McCartney and Kelsey have both done that with
God
me,
damn
too.
it. We flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Takes an enormous
And you,
shit.
the speed in which you can leave the tub is baffling. When
Well,
that happens, you're just like, you weren't fast.
let me know.
No.
Not
Oh,
even close.
no.
You had a little bit of a
I
stew
was
going.
sitting marinating in it.
Oh my
I'm like, Pat.
God.
I didn't realize Pat had gone to the store. So I'm alone in the tub with the baby, the slippery tub. My back is a little wacky, so it's difficult for me to
Yeah.
get up. So I've been relying on Pat to help me get him in and out of the tub and all that stuff. I'm like, Pat, the poop is starting to spread around the
It's
tub.
like the
brown-
blob.
and his poop is like chunky mustard. It's like
Oh,
the
great.
it's spreading through. I'm like watching it snake across the bottom of the tub. There was a miniature Chaps down there, like, whoa, look at this.
Hey, Mom.
Anyway, yeah, it was fucking horrible. I finally get myself in the position where I can get him out, and babies are slippery as shit too.
They are, yeah.
In the tub, so I'm holding him, and he's sick, and now he's crying. There's poop everywhere. I
Did
get
you
out
shame
of the
him about
poopy
it?
tub. I was
You
like,
nasty
yeah,
little
you should
worm.
be so embarrassed right now. I get us over to the shower, and then I had to hold him in one arm and like hose him down. He's screaming. It was traumatic for both of us. I just have to say.
Hey,
It was
everybody
something-
knows, get me a fucking rag.
yeah. Okay, there, get your gloves. I'm pooping in the tub. My other round, I don't know. I just had to share that because that was just harrowing. My other save round, something pretty cool. We were talking the other week on the show about bringing the interpreters and people in Afghanistan who helped us, getting them the fuck out of there. The big effort for that. And there is groups, there's a few thousand that have made it to certain bases in the U.S. Katie Hoyt, an Iraq war veteran, she started a campaign to help one of the Afghan families arriving in the U.S. So it was an interpreter who has four girls, aged 2, 8, 9, and 12. They just arrived here with literally nothing. These
That's
people
crazy.
had to leave their whole entire lives behind, came here with basically just the clothes on their back, is not an exaggeration. So she's like, here's an Amazon wish list. I sat down with them, asked them what they needed. I went on to check to get something. People on Twitter, and like tons of items. And it was all stuff that's needed, already bought by people.
That's
which
awesome.
is fucking awesome to see. She's going to be working with International Rescue Committee at rescue.org to do that for more families, I think. So maybe give them a follow.
Yeah,
and
we need
see.
to get her on the show, too. And
Yeah.
I know you didn't know this, but the guy that wrote that tweet was my roommate in college.
Whoa.
What? Travis Akers?
Mm-hmm.
What?
That's cool.
The
Fellow Roadrunner.
No, the Bible school.
Oh.
Whoa. shit.
fellow Team Jesus.
So not the wood chips on the floor guy.
No, not
Okay. I was like, wow, he really turned it around.
No, that wasn't him.
Cool.
He was like a big emo guy.
I believe it. Oh, Travis? Whoa, well, that's really cool. A neat story there. I thought that was a little good vibes after all the Afghanistan talk. A lot of good people out there, that's for sure.
Sweet. Cons?
Some more good vibes. Our friends over at Feltman's Hot Dogs announced that they are now the official partner up at West Point for all our concessions for football, basketball, hockey, and lacrosse. So, really happy for my buddy Joe Quinn over there, and really cool to see him doing something and giving back to West Point in that way. So, and Feltman's are just delicious, and they've been good to Barstool here. So
true.
And now they have bacon.
I saw that.
Oh, it's good bacon.
Yep.
It's good bacon. So check out
cool.
check out some Feltman's. And then lastly, I'm not saying anything here that is revolutionary, but social media is so fake. It is just people put their lives out there, and you're like, oh, that couple looks so happy. So I'm at my cousin's wedding this past weekend. Shout out to cousin Pat and cousin Candace. Congrats to them getting married. And it was a blast of a wedding. Great band. We're on the dance floor the whole night. A lot of fun, singing, dancing. Took some really nice pictures. We took one really cute picture on the dance floor, and Alex shows me the picture. She goes, oh, look at that. That's a really good picture of us. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah. And then she's just kind of like thinking out loud. She's like, and Jesus, like 3 hours ago, I wanted to drown you in the fucking Atlantic and leave you for dead and leave with someone else from this wedding.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just made me think, like, it's unbelievable how people.
Yeah, I love her too. We got to get her on. Speaking of things, petty things to get yelled at for. God, I'd love to have her on the show. I'd love to have her on the show. And I don't. I'm not saying it's petty, Alex.
She likes to rip me. She's like, you don't know how to clean. And in my head, and I say this to her, I'm like, I spent a decade of my life in the military where I got screamed at if like a horizontal surface had a speck of dust, and you're going to tell me you don't know how to clean? She's like, well, I guess you forgot how.
Yeah.
Because you can't clean worth a shit right now.
But that actually is true. Like, I not you specifically, but I can speak to myself for that. Like, where I look, the effort that I put in now to clean, fucking Lugo ain't coming through.
Yeah, it's true. It's true to an extent.
I need the threat of getting yelled at. I think that's why I just didn't want. I think that's why I was such a good Marine, is I never wanted anybody to have a reason to yell at me.
Yes.
That was the only reason. I didn't really care about what we were doing. I mean, we had a shitty mission for 20 years.
I
didn't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to get yelled at anymore.
But anyway,
Fair enough.
my cleaning standards aren't up to snuff, as according to Alex. So I'm going to have to work on that, I guess.
All right. Fair.
We'll see.
Chaps.
I don't really have anything. I'm just glad to be here. Glad to go back home, though.
You doing anything in New York while you're here?
Mm-mm.
No?
No, I never do.
Okay.
I
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Come
very
here,
true.
and then I walk a block back to my hotel.
You know why you don't do anything? Because the one time we were like, you know what? Let's go for a walk around the city, get some ice cream. On the way back from that, you decided to shave your beard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a bad time. So now I understand you don't go too far.
I just don't like doing stuff in general.
Okay. Have you?
I just don't.
Yeah.
Have you been down to the 9/11 memorial?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
I would suggest you do that while you're in town.
Not gonna do it.
No,
Okay.
he
I don't
won't.
like to walk
He
that far.
won't.
That's
He's
a
not
long
gonna
way,
do it.
right?
I mean, yeah.
No, I have. I think I went. Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. It's on the retreat.